welcome to Just Reading. I am your host, Tammy, and today we're going to be talking about Yearning for Her by Tiffany Roberts. It's her latest release. So the story follows a wicked incubus. This is based off the blurb, by the way. A curvy, delectable human female, and one night of passion between the two of them. So the heroine's name is Willow, and the hero is Kian. Willow goes through an embarrassing, heartbreaking breakup with her boyfriend, and she thinks he's going to propose. On the night that she thinks he's going to propose, he instead introduces her to his other girlfriend. And he's trying to basically coerce her into having a polyamorous relationship, which she did not sign on for. And he's been cheating with her the whole time and has convinced himself that it's not cheating once he convinces her to be part of a threesome. Willow is heartbroken. She's upset. She's had a series of horrific breakups, and this is just the last straw for her. So she storms out of the restaurant that she was having dinner with him in, and she goes to a bridge where she's licking her wounds and just feeling awful about love and everything that's happened in her relationships and her love life. But she's also realizing that perhaps he didn't love her the way she needed to be loved. Perhaps she was looking for a relationship with someone who wasn't willing or able to give her exactly what she needed. Her boyfriend's name, by the way, is Eli. So all her hopes and her dreams that she had about Eli and the relationship, she's kind of realizing that it's not all it was out to be. And then, of course, in comes Kian. So Kian and Willow had a very interesting meet cute where she actually saw him standing on the street corner as she was walking to the restaurant with Eli at the time. Their eyes met, there was an electrical charge, but of course she's in a relationship and she's thinking that she's about to get proposed to, so nothing happens with that. But when she goes to the bridge after the incident with Eli, Kian follows her. He follows her to the bridge and basically hits on her, and he offers her something that she can't refuse. He offers her one night, no strings attached, just sex. And she accepts. Now, unbeknownst to her, he's a succubus. He's a fairy, the fae, I guess, and he's a succubus. So he feeds on humans' emotions, and he's chosen to feed off of the emotions that he can get when he's having sex with a mortal. And so all he is intending to do, Kian, is he saw an attractive woman. He was attracted to her. She looked like she was sad, and it would be win-win. So they would have wonderful sex, and he would feed. He wasn't really thinking about her when he approached her. It was really about what he could get out of the relationship, or not relationship, out of the experience. So they go to the hotel. They have this mad, passionate, momentous experience together. And then Willow is starting to think, what did I do? How did I end up doing this? Why am I even here? And she leaves. She walks away. Kian is ever changed from the experience. Something happened when they were together, and he realizes that this woman is more than just a fling for him. In fact, he can't get her out of his mind. He literally, like the title says, yearns for her. And He can't even feed from other people without just feeling awful. And he ends up literally starving. So he goes on a mad hunt to try and find her. And fate intervenes and they meet. He finds her finally after a very, very long, arduous hunt through the city. And from there, they reconnect. And of course, Willow is scarred from her relationships and she's just not willing to open up again, not willing to take a risk on love right then. She's still pretty raw from her breakup. And so Kian has to convince her that it's worth it. He has to convince her that taking a chance on him is worth it. When he first found her, he really just wanted to feed. He was starving, but he knew there was more to it than that. Like, it wasn't even just sex. And this is where the slow burn element came in. And I thought it was pretty well done. He didn't get nourishment from sex because they didn't have sex once they reconnected right away. It was the little things that was feeding him. It was her laugh. It was just being in her presence. It was kisses from her that was feeding into him and just making him feel good. And I thought it was an interesting take. I mean, it's romance and it's a little ridiculous, some of the premises, and then not because it connects with what we go through. How many times have we been people, male and female, been in relationships that you've given your all to, and you get your heart broken time and time again, and you have to start over. And after a while, you just get tired of all of it. And you're like, I'm done. I am done. I'm going to find a way to be content and happy on my own. And a lot of times, interestingly enough, when you get to that point, that's when the universe kind of opens up for you and says, here, this is your person. And sometimes we're so heartbroken and so desensitized that we can't even see it. We harden ourselves to that opportunity, but you have to see it for what it is sometimes and trust the universe to work it out. And sometimes it's okay to be on your own. There's nothing wrong with that. And if that makes you happy, then that's great. And sometimes when you open up yourself to the possibility of love, you finally meet that person that just everything clicks. Not a fairy person, not a supernatural make-believe kind of person that our romance authors give to us, but a person like in the real world that makes you think, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on love. And you're honest and you say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to risk it, because everything is a teachable experience. And so you can learn from that. And I think that's the danger of having our hearts broken so many times. Sometimes it's the danger of closing ourselves off to the possibility. If we seek relationships and if we seek committed partners, we have to keep our spirits and our hearts open to the possibility of that. And sometimes you do meet a lot of old cliche frogs and you kiss a lot of frogs, and it's okay. I think we have to keep our possibilities open, and that's what I love about romance novels and the HEAs. Like, when the authors write a good story that we can connect with, we can see it in the world around us, and we can connect the story we're reading to things that happen in our own lives, and say, wow, this is a very positive story, and it just makes you feel good. You get lost in that world for a minute and you're just like, wow. And of course the spice helps too. Being spicy, the spicy reads definitely help too, but all in all, it's the characters, it's the story. I loved Kian. I loved how he even found himself. He never saw humans as meaningful. He never saw his connections with people as anything other than what he could get from them. But when Willow came into his life, it became something else. It became more for him. And he remembered that he wanted connection. He realized what he had been missing. And eventually, even he, at one point, when he first entered the human realm, when he ran away from the Fae world or realm, and he came into the mortal realm, there's a part in the book that it says that was his hope, that was his desire. He wanted to be he wanted to find someone who would love him, because as a succubus, he was, even in fairy, even in his immortal realm, his kind they were not respected, and he was abused and mistreated because the other Fae thought that, they were afraid of them for one. So if they didn't fare them, the succubus, they wanted to control them. And they didn't like the fact that they could feed off of them. And the succubus that was really the succubi, I guess, is that what you say? Succubus, succubi, succubuses? I think it's succubi. They could feed off of the other Fae and become stronger. So he escaped from there, and he's not going back. He never wanted to go back, even before he met Willow. And so he looked down on mortals and he just saw them as food. But then when he and Willow connected, he started to see humans and mortals in a completely different light. And he had character growth too. So they both grew. They were both hurt. They were both mistreated, and they both were very close to just existing. In fact, Kian was just existing, and Willow was really on the cusp of just being completely done and insulating herself and not opening her heart up to love anymore. And when they found each other, they both connected and became not just lovers, but soulmates. And it was a really beautiful story. I read it in one sitting. One sitting, and it was fantastic. Tiffany Roberts writes really good stories. Her alien romances they can be a little weird, but I'm thinking specifically of the spider mate series. That will be for another time where we have to dissect that series. But she writes beautiful, beautiful characters, and you forget that she's talking about a spider. You forget sometimes that she's talking about a fae, because she makes you connect with her characters, and I love that. So when you get a chance, pick up Yearn for Her. It's on KU now, and you hopefully you won't regret it. Hopefully you will enjoy it just as much as I did. It was a fantastic read. I tried not to make this episode too spoilery. I hope that I enticed you to pick this book up and dive into it. Until next time, just keep reading.